Hey guys, welcome back to math. So today we're going to move into more division and just relating division with multiplication. And if you know a multiplication fact like 2 times 3 equals 6, then you also know that 6 divided by 3 is 2 because they all live in fact families. Just like with adding and subtracting when you had fact families, we have fact families in multiplication and division too. And using these fact families can help make division really easy for you. So we're going to let Bob talk to us. Bob, take it away.
There are enough drums for a very large marching band.
How can multiplication facts help you divide? Think about this question during the lesson. This array can show the relationship between multiplication and division. How does this array show multiplication? This array has 3 rows of 10 drums, so it shows the multiplication equation 3 times 10 equals 30. There are 30 drums in all. How does this array show division? This array has 30 drums in 3 equal rows. So it shows the division equation 30 divided by 3 equals 10. There are 10 drums in each row. What other multiplication and division sentences could you write based on arrays? A fact family shows how multiplication and division are related. What is the same about the 4 number sentences? They all use the same numbers, 3, 10, and 30. What is different? 2 of the sentences are multiplication sentences, and 2 are division sentences. Also, the numbers in each sentence are in a different order. So, a fact family is a group of related facts using the same numbers. What are the parts of the division sentences? The parts of a division sentence are dividend, divisor, and quotient. What is the definition of each of these parts? The dividend is the number of objects being divided. The divisor is the number by which another number is divided. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. Remember, a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. What do you notice about the product and the dividend in these equations? They are the same number. Why are they the same? The product and the dividend show the total number of objects. You now know how to relate multiplication and division facts.
Okay, so using multiplication to help you get division. One of the big things I talked about here, and one of the things we're going to remember, is fact families. And when you were in maybe even first grade, but definitely second grade, you talked about a fact family. And back then we were looking at adding and subtracting. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 2 plus 3 is 5. Commutative property says you can switch those numbers. Then we would say 5 minus 3 equals 2, and 5 minus 2 equals 3. And this was a fact family. And one thing to remember with a fact family is all the numbers stay the same. You can't throw in new numbers. Think of it like a family. We got mom and dad and the little kid. You can't bring in some neighbors and some best friends and cousins and all that. They don't fit in the fact family. We got to keep it with mom and dad and the kid, or the kid and mom and dad, just switching the order of them. The same thing goes for multiplication fact families and division. So we would say 3 times 2 equals 6, and 2 times 3 equals 6. And then we would turn that around and say 6 divided by 3 equals 2, and 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Keeping the same digits in there, the same family members, we just switch the order around a little bit. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let me get this paper off here and let's look at our book on page 170. Here you see the drums. One of the big things I wanted to look at were these terms, dividend, divisor, and quotient. Now the dividend was the total number, how big the group is, how many you're breaking apart. That word divisor, and I'm going to write it right up here. Divisor, it ends with an OR. And that's kind of like the word teacher or reader. I know those end with an ER, but they have that same meaning of someone or something that does something. So like a reader reads, a teacher teaches, a divisor divides. So keep that in mind. The divisor is what you're dividing it. The dividend, what you're dividing it by. So we had 30. We're going to divide it into 10 groups. And the quotient is the answer to a division problem. Quotient. That's a weird word. Okay, let's look down here. 4 times 7 is 28. One fact in a fact family. Draw an array for this fact. Write the other 3 facts in the family. So the first digit tells us how many going up and down. How many on this side, which is how many rows we're going to have. And then the 7 tells us how many going across, or how many are in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fill those in nice and neat, as straight as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. And I'm going to label it 4 groups of 7. And now our fact family. So we know that our members in this family are 4, 7, and 28. Those are the only digits we can use. We're just going to switch them around now. 7 times 4 is also 28. I'll put 28 over here. Now it is the dividend. 28 divided by 7 equals 4. And 28 divided by 4 equals 7. Okay? So keep the same digits, the same members of the family. Just switch that order around. Let's look at page 171, guided practice. Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay, look at the fact family for 3, 10, and 30 on page 170, right here. What do you notice about the products and the dividends? And they ask you that in the video too. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Here's the product. Here's the dividend. Product, dividend. What do you notice? They are the same, correct? Because the product is the answer to joining those groups together. And once those groups are joined together, that is our total group that we're going to break apart in a division problem. So what we group together is the product, and that becomes the dividend in the next problem. Is 4 times 6 equal 24 part of the fact family for 3, 8, and 24? Explain. 3 times 8 is 24. And 4 times 6 is 24. But are they in the same fact family? No. Why are they not in the same fact family? They use different digits. It's like a family, their last name, let's say Smith. There may be 2 or 3 families around town with the last name Smith. They're not the same people though. They have the same last name, but it's not the same people. These have the same product, but it's not the same digits in that family. All right, over here, easy breezy lemon squeezy. We're just doing fill in the blanks, fact family style. And they gave you the answers. If you don't know what 3 times what equals 21, well, it's going to be the other number here. 3 times 7 is 21, so 7 times 3 is 21. 21 divided by 3, you got to use the same digits. That's going to be a 7, and that's going to be a 3. Here we're using 2, we're using 9, and we're using 18. So just fill that in. 2 times 9 is 18, and 9 times 2 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And here we've got 2, 20, and 10. So 2 times 10 is 20. 10 times 2 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. And 20 divided by 10 equals 2. All right. Fact families using multiplication to get division. If you can memorize those multiplication facts, they're really going to help you make division really easy. So you can just think, yeah, oh, hey, 3 times 10 is 30. So I know 30 divided by 10 is going to be just 3. Fact families, they keep the same members. We're going to continue with this idea of using multiplication to help with division.